We're live!
Happy Easter!
Happy Easter, everybody! How's everybody doing? Yes, quiet Easter number 2, and so let's start it off with a bang, I guess, with the sparkling. So just opening up the Luminescence, which is a sparkling Riesling that was fermented in the bottle, and then just before bottled, just at dosage, it was dosaged with ice wine. So. Whee! Oh, nice. I let that one go a little a little higher than it should be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is because it's a holiday, right? So, and maybe we'll just start with the wine because you know why? I think I need it. So that's the fastest you should ever pour out some sparkling wine to get that the head on there. Actually, you know, if you go really super classic, your thumb goes right in the punt like that. Yeah. Cradle it in your hand like this and just go in. Because really, you should not have to go back and forth to the glass as you're pouring a whole glass of sparkling. Just nice and slow, low and slow. Keep the effervescence down. You keep that mousse down. And then, wait, little curl at the end and you're cooking with gas. So, so I'm sure you're all going to be practicing that all throughout Easter. So cheers. And because I think I bit off a little bit more than I can chew today. So that's why I wanted to start with this.
You need a drink after.
Yes. Okay, so we are doing one of my favorite things in Easter. Well, is chocolate. I love Easter because Easter has no winemaking responsibilities with it at all. Because Labor Day is sparkling, Thanksgiving is Riesling or Chardonnay or beginning of a Merlot harvesting, and then going into Christmas and New Year's, then it's ice wine. Or at least the threat of ice wine is always looming in the background, unless you actually have it done. So Easter, I take the whole thing off free and clear, right? So I love just taking the time. And so this year, since we're doing a little bit more at home, getting a little more ambitious with our cooking at home as well, I thought I would make, you know those, they're Laura Secord chocolates. They're Laura Secord cream eggs. So it's a good sized egg and it's like all creamy in the middle, and then you cut it and you actually slurp slices of it. And it's covered in chocolate, and it's just the most decadent thing ever.
And you decided you had to make it from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what are you doing over here?
Yeah. So first of all, you research this online and you watch all kinds of videos and realize actually none of them are really quite right. So I realized actually more about like what you feel about this. Okay. So I start off with half a cup of softened butter, and then 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and I use salted butter, by the way. You could go unsalted. Sorry, I'm just going to turn this off to make sure it doesn't get too hot there. And then 2/3 of a can of sweetened condensed milk, which I think at Easter you use more sweetened condensed milk, and at Christmas than you ever can. So, okay. All right, so that's all we're going to do there. I'm doing this in the sink because, it's disaster management. And on the farm, that's what you do, is you try to manage your disasters. This is my mummy's technique to do it in the sink so that all the stuff doesn't go everywhere. So we're just going to cream that all together. I'm going to go right up to full blast and cream the softened butter, the sweetened condensed milk, and the butter together. And vanilla. So we have vanilla, sweetened condensed milk, softened butter. So I used salted butter. You certainly could use regular butter and like unsalted butter and then add the salt to it. I think in this case, it's so sweet, it's so decadent. I don't know about balancing off the salt. So essentially what we're doing is we're making a fondant by hand. so that's pretty much, you know, I might just get a little bit more, just kind of get some of those buttery chunks out. This one was, you know what, there's that butter controversy about how...
Yes, the palm oil.
Yeah, with the palm oil. I don't know what is right or what is wrong about butter, but it is not as soft and succulent and creamy as it used to be. Yeah. And so that's been sitting out for over 3 hours now to get to room temperature, and I can still see little chunks of butter in there. It should just smooth right in. So, and even as I put the blender in to start off with, it was a little bit crazy. So it was like way more resistance than it should.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of...
this whole thing's going in. So I'm just going to start with 2 cups of the 4 cups that I have here. I'm going to go down to 1 and just go really disaster management. Yeah. And just slowly incorporate that in. And I'll just start this was a little bit of a leap of faith. It's like, that can't be right. And so some of the recipes I saw had like a lot more sugar than what this one is. I just can't believe it. So anyway, you see why We're doing this in the
in the sink.
in the sink. Yeah.
And I can see also why you needed some nice crisp sparkling.
So I'm sure this is riveting for everyone at home watching this, but okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna like get our spatula in here and just kind of incorporate this all back in, because it actually is quite creamy in the middle there. So I don't think we're not too dry yet by any means. So this mix master has lasted me. One of the first things I bought out of university. I bought my first paycheck was a piece of art, and my second paycheck was this. So.
Oh, well, you got your as far as I'm concerned, your priorities right. You buy art before food.
Yes. Okay, so that's 4 cups now. So.
So we have Justin Downs watching. We have
Yes.
Elaine Peters. We've got
Yay!
We've got your brother.
Awesome. Perfect. I'm just going to do this for. It's going to help it out a little bit on the disaster management thing. So, right. So my brother and I were like absolutely crazy in love with Easter cream eggs, and it comes from my mother. It's genetic. So, and so I was going to try and bring this in, incorporate it in by hand first, just to kind of keep the floof factor down. The floof, that's the technical term when icing sugar goes absolutely every single place of your kitchen. So now I've got a lot of moisture here in the beaters, right? So okay, whew, this is leap of faith. Let's go back to the sink. Now, of course, you don't want to turn the water on in the sink as you're doing this, of course. So we have electricity and water together. I don't know. I think it's the fear's overrated, but whatever. So, okay, this is slowly coming together. And the awesome part is the dust has such sweetness to it. It's absolutely decadent. So, all right, I'm gonna turn this up a little bit, start incorporating it in. So the idea is to make this like fondant essentially. And then from that, we're going to take it and put it out on a piece of parchment paper. And I'm going to divide it into thirds. So 1/3 of it, I'm going to make it really yellow, and the rest I'm going to leave white. So let's go up a little bit more. We're starting to get there. Now, this is looking a little dry. So what I'm going to do is, you know, like...
This is the beauty of doing this live.
Yeah, I know, eh? And I think it changes through the day. Let's add a little bit more. Well, I mean, what can... You can't add... Can you add too much sweetened condensed milk to anything? No. So, oh yeah, now it's going to come together. Perfect. All right. But you know, no pain, no gain. So just keep your fingers out of the way, and I think you're doing well. So I had considered doing this part first, but then I thought, well, that isn't the danger part of this is you don't really see it. So, okay, let's get some of this out of here because you want it like really so juicy, right?
But, you know,
It's kind of scary.
Leave lots on those beaters for somebody to, I'm just saying.
Like,
I don't know.
yes.
Saturday employee, the cat.
Yes. Yes. Let's get this last little bit in here. Yes. Yeah. He's probably saying, oh, icing. Okay. Just about there. Let's just get this last little bit in there. And then, all right. You see why I started off with drinks, right? Because, so it's kind of like a little bit of a thing. You want it dry enough that you can mold this, and yet you want it succulent enough that it's going to be, a cream egg in the middle. So, you know what? This does need a little more of this. Well, that's looking good. You know what? Just a little dollop more. I think it might just be a smidgen too dry, because the sugar is going to dissolve a little bit too, right? In the liquid that's here. It's supposed to get a little bit more sweet condensed milk. I don't want to go too crazy here because I don't want to go too juicy, right? Because then it won't mold nicely. It won't mold this into the egg form. So this mixed master could have lasted from 1997 until today.
This might be the last one.
This might be. She's struggling. Yep.
Oh dear.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay. I think we're getting to this consistency we want here. Okay. I'm just going to do this. Oh yeah. That's
now we're talking.
That's a thing of beauty. I'm just going to try to get that icing off. All right, that's not gonna come. All right. Okay, I could eat this just like this. Is that gross?
That's the problem.
To some people that it like sounds disgusting, but to me that is just absolute complete decadence. That yum. Okay, so I might just hold right there. That's good for now. I'll get the rest out later on, for instance. All right, leaving that there. Let's take this over to the parchment paper here. So honestly, it's almost like working with dough. So I was going to put a little bit of this is icing sugar down first, so it doesn't stick to this is just wax paper that's down. I'm going to take 2/3 of it out. So what I'm taking out will be the white part of the Easter cream egg, and then what stays in the bowl is going to be the yolk part of the Easter cream egg. All right, so you'll see in the other ones, like when I get to the end ones, I kind of made a mistake. Well, because I've never done this before. Okay, that was what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It does need quite a bit. Let's start with 10 and see how yellowy this gets, and then we'll know if we should add more or not.
Pierre from Between the Vines.
Oh, hey Pierre, we miss you. Come visit us soon. And oh, this looks better already.
Oh yeah, that's much more yellow than the first one.
Yeah, you'll everyone at home, you'll see the other ones how yellow it did or did not end up. So anyway, some of the recipes I saw online too was use yellow and then use a little bit of red as well.
Yeah, to create like a nice orange for farm raised.
Yeah,
Free-run eggs.
a bit more like a bit more farm. Yes, free run looking. But there was whatever version I did. So I did like 4 drops of yellow and 1 drop of red, and it was like so gross. I thought it looked like a fertilized egg actually. So I'm like, you know what? No, this is wrong. It's in the garbage. You can go take a look. I wouldn't. So like, if this was an egg, I would not eat it. Now if this was an egg, oh yeah, baby, I would so eat this. Yum. Okay, that's good enough for now. All right, let's do this. We're gonna bring this over like this. And you know what we have to do first before getting farther? Oh my gosh, it's so much work. I gotta have a glass of wine.
There we go.
It's so bright, it's so fresh, it's so crisp. And the ice wine that's been added to the wine, it's pretty wild how it just is like, it's so soft and like it's just there in the background of the wine. It doesn't dominate the wine. It just
It doesn't make it sweet. It makes it
adds
rounder.
texture and weight and body to the wine, but it doesn't make it super intense. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a sweet wine. I'd say it's demi-sec. So I just put a little bit of icing sugar on my fingers, which you absolutely need to do. I also, for the first batch, I tried some Pam on my hands too. That worked, jumper. That worked out really well too. Okay, so we're just making the yolk for the middle of the egg. So now it depends on how big of the egg you want to make, obviously, right? So I think I made the first batch too small when I think about it. So let's make a lower C-chord size. So lower C-chord. I feel a little bit of I'm being bad here in some ways because I can't stand knockoff ice wine. So why am I making a knockoff lower C-chord Easter egg?
That's a very good point. You're not a copycat by nature, so what are you up to here?
I try to be my own person, you know? Okay, so that's a bigger one. So essentially, we're going to take the rest of that and make the yolk for your Easter cream egg. So we're going to do a small one and a big one like this. All right, so then let's make the white part of this. So you could take this now and refrigerate it, and I probably would actually just to make life easier before you go to the next stage. But well, for the purpose of television, we're going to carry on now. So just like a dough, you want to like put a little bit of because if you're putting flour on top of on top of a dough, we're putting the icing sugar all over this, and same with this too. Just kind of get rid of any moisture that might be in there from the last time you washed it, or if you just in my case, just washed it a few minutes ago. And I'm making a complete and utter mess here. It's quite amazing. But roll this out just like a dough, and oh yeah, see, I could eat that just like that is right too. Like I was like, oh my gosh, the restraint I'm using, Cara, the restraint. I'm so proud of myself. So I do have 2 pieces of parchment paper or 2 pieces of wax paper here, just in case like I get delayed. I don't want this to dry out, and so hence the parchment paper. Okay, then what I do, take the pizza cutter, and so that we're not going to use that for anything. Well, if we need more, yes. Okay, so I just take this and cut down some slices. Okay, Okay, and then that big guy, he probably needs a bigger piece. Let's go like this. Okay, so for the first guy, the little one, it's pretty thick. Actually, no, it's too thick. Like this. So it's going to, amongst my fingers, I have been peppered with the icing sugar. Let's take this, take my yolky bit, and just rotate him around. Yeah. Oops, come on, tickle, tickle. I put a lot of faith in myself, thinking that. So you don't have to go all the way around. It depends on what you want to do. If you're going to make sure you know the bottom of it the whole entire time, you can leave it like that. So as you cut through it, the yolk will be right at the bottom.
Right.
Or you can go with a bigger piece and go all the way around. But after you dunk this in chocolate, you need to know that that is the bottom. So, okay, and you get a little creative here. You know, spend a little time, make it look like an egg. Oh, that's cute.
Because Sue-Ann, everything you need to know in life you learned in kindergarten.
Yes.
This is playing with Play-Doh.
That's right. I learned cut and paste. And so, okay, so we need a little bit bigger piece, obviously, for the bigger piece. And on it goes. Hi, honey. Up you come. That's why I'd freeze or put this in the fridge or the freezer, depending on how much time you have. And there we go. Okay. Tickle, tickle. Around, you know. So, oh yeah. See, so I'm going to be able to remember what is the top and what is the bottom, because the bottom is going to be flat.
There we go.
But you know, it depends on what you want. Some people want that yolk perfectly in the middle, and but I kind of like it so the yolk's right at the bottom. It looks like it's going to, like, you know, when you cut through it. All right, so I mean, you could get even bigger yet. I mean, you take that whole thing and make like only 6 or 8 eggs with it, right?
Those would be big.
Oh, they would, and there's nothing wrong with. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay, so that would then go to the fridge or to the freezer, depending on how much time, like at least 2 hours in the fridge or half an hour in the freezer to get it really good and cold. You want it to set in that position because we're going from here to hot chocolate, like hot chocolate that's hot, melted chocolate. Thank you. And so it depends on what you're going to want. So if customers coming in, but they'll be, you know what I'm going to do? I move this so it's not in their way when they come in. Or is it, all right. So I have a feeling we're going to move the microphone off to Rob so Cara can take care of them. Okay, so over here, I just have, I have some chocolate that's been melted with some butter. And so it depends on what you want to. If you want the outside of the chocolate to cut really nice and soft and smooth, then I would go with some butter in it. The next batch I'm actually not going to put the butter in it because I want to just keep it really crunchy and hard. So, okay, so for the power of television, I was going to go to the fridge and get. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, man. Oh, wait a minute. Hi. It's right here. Yes. Okay, so here's the ones I made previously. So let's take this guy here. Like a nice sized one, like so. You can do this one of 2 ways. So this has just been, as I said, melted down on the double boiler, and so you can either. So I've seen people do it by 2 ways. They put like a chopstick in it, and then put it in the butter or in the chocolate, and just do it 2 times. Or I found it easier in the end just to take a spoon and roll it around, make sure it gets all the way around, and then pick it up. Make sure you don't like damage the side of it too much. Just kind of smoosh that over. Whee, there we go. And if I move back over to another spoon too to get rid of some of the extra. All right, and then over here to the paper. You kind of need to do it fast because the icing will melt in the chocolate. So by the time you do that to all of those, it comes out looking, here's the batch I did earlier today. So I'll come off the slide over here. Thanks, darling. So, okay, so let's pick on one of these. Let's go with, I don't know, which one looks the prettiest? This one here. So I take him and with a paring knife, which I will get here, just kind of trim off the sides a little bit to make it look pretty. So you get that full egg look. Oh my goodness. I am in love. And certainly that is fine just the way it is. But I also happen to have some white chocolate that I have melted with a little bit of green coloring to it. And it's not super, hey, Druba. What's going on? Yeah, my brother comes in just when the first one's ready to go. I'm just going to warm that up just a little bit because I have some hot water in here just to soften it up a little bit.
Hey, Drew. Yeah. Can you scooch over here?
Okay, so I thought it'd be fun just to decorate them. So, oops.
Hi guys, thank you.
Thank you. It's come again soon. Hopefully this will be. I mean, you decorate these any way you want. That was not enough time in the water to cool it down. But you can see I did it nicely a little bit ago. Ta-da! I was far more artistic than this. Is like, remember, there's a thing a couple years ago on was it on Twitter, and you know, nailed it, and you had all these like colossal failures of what people did failing.
Fail.
Yeah. Okay, that's a nail. That's a joke about nailed it, right? So, okay. So
That one's for Drew.
More wine.
it says more wine, more wine, and you went. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, so delicious. Okay, let's go in the middle of this and see how it goes. So as I'm crunching through it, it's not cracking. So if you want it to crunch nicely like that, then you can see the last batch I didn't get the yolk that dark yellow. It's just a really soft yellow. So the next one, that dark yellow, it'll be just beautiful. So, all right. My fancy serving technique, Drew? Minty. Mm-hmm. Cara?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And Sue already. Let's go in for the taste. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
The sweetened condensed milk. There's so much fat that just covers the whole palate. It's so rich, it's so intense. Drew's going in for round two. Mm-hmm. I think the next time though, I'm going to not put the butter in the chocolate on the outside, so it'll be a little more cracky when you cut through it. And maybe dunk it in 2 times. So do it once and then do it again to get a bigger chocolate layer on it. So, or it makes sure the chocolate is not as hot as it is, so it goes on a little thicker. So, okay, and then with the wine. Okay, something kind of funny here. One of the rules is your wine should always be sweeter than the dessert. Well, there's not a chance. There's a wine on the planet that is sweeter than what this is, because it's really just all icing sugar. So in this case, I want there to be some sweetness to the wine, but I want it to cleanse the palate, get it fresher and brighter, and to cleanse the palate. And so that's what the carbon dioxide is going to do, and the acidity that's in it as well. So anyway, okay. That was really hard. So much so, it's like, did I bite off more than I can chew for sizzling with sass? But anyway, if anyone's looking to help make some more eggs, because I have like all these to form me laid up. So yeah, today just drop on by, Drew. That's perfect, helping to make the Easter cream eggs. So anyway, I hope you have a great Easter. Stay safe. And looks like we're on hold for another month. So we'll definitely be doing Sizzling with Sass for another month. So cheers to you. Happy Easter. Be well.
Happy Easter. Happy.
Happy Easter.